It's a long gospel today, but it's good. It's a very powerful story. Brothers and sisters, today we celebrate the fourth Sunday of Lent, the Sunday of joy. Joy because we feel our redemption is near. Joy because we know we are halfway to the glorious day of Christ's resurrection. Today's gospel shows us a very simple way to celebrate this joy, to remember the little things the Lord accomplishes in our lives, to see in our daily lives these miracles, the small actions that the Lord accomplishes in our lives every day. Indeed, the parable of the man born blind who is healed in the gospel is very telling and powerful. He was a man who could not see, who was just there waiting to be healed. And one day Jesus arrived, took the man, and performed three actions. He spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva and smeared the clay on his eyes. And he sent him to wash in the pool of Siloam, and the man came back able to see. This healing sowed confusion in the hearts of those around him who could not believe he was healed. The chief priests even tried to force him to say that Jesus did not heal him. This is because they suffered from spiritual blindness. Then, brothers and sisters, spiritual blindness prevents us from recognizing God and His love for us. Don't forget that. Spiritual blindness prevents us from recognizing God and His love for us. Jesus performed miracles, healing the blind as a symbol of spiritual enlightenment. But the Pharisees represent disbelief and rejection of the divine, clinging to empty dogmas. They did not believe in Jesus' miracles and therefore followed closely in his footsteps, hunting him like wolves and all the people he healed to discredit God's miracle through him. Jesus performed the miracle by restoring a man's sight and healing him, but he asked him not to say anything. However, he felt so much emotion and joy in his heart that the man proclaimed it everywhere. Therefore, the Pharisees sought out the man who had obtained the miracle of vision through Jesus Christ to question him and later banish him from the city. These evil deeds of the Pharisees reminds us of Jesus' words when he exclaimed that there's none so blind as he who does not want to see, nor so deaf as he who does not want to hear. Then these people cannot be saved from the spiritual darkness in which they find themselves, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. However, the man's response is very simple. He smeared the clay on my eyes. He told me to go and wash, and I washed, and I came able back to see. I came back able to see. No one can take away from this man born blind this faith in the presence of God in his life, who granted him sight, who performed a miracle in his life. He knew it. He has seen the goodness of the Lord, for he has experienced it. The Lord put clay on his eyes and told him to go and wash himself so that he could see the wonders of God, so that he could become a new person. Moreover, when we know how to step outside ourselves, detach ourselves from this life, and muster up the courage to go and wash, then we can open our eyes and see the wonders of the Lord. Brothers and sisters, we are these men born blind. Through baptism and the gift of the Spirit, we have been enabled to see beyond what our eyes can see. The church has gradually helped us to advance in the knowledge of what our physical eyes could not allow us to discover. But, brothers and sisters, we are also at some point those Pharisees who remain blind by the darkness of their hearts. We are sinners, but we refuse to acknowledge it. We are sick and claim to be healthy. Do we want to see ourselves as we truly are? We often prefer to focus on the impression we leave on others. That is what matters to us more than reality. The catechumens believe what the blind man experienced whom Jesus healed on the Sabbath. They pass from this dark, blind world to the light of God. And this step they take leads them on a strange adventure, like the formerly blind man whose neighbors hesitate to acknowledge him, whose parents abandon him, and who finds himself the target of attacks from those who claim to see and whom Jesus tells us are in fact blind. The new believer cannot explain what is happening to him. He can only say, like the formerly blind man, before I could not see, and now I see. And bow down before Jesus, telling him of his faith and worshiping him. Today, brothers and sisters, we must have the joy of seeing the wonders of God working in our lives. Let us learn to give thanks for the little things the Lord accomplishes in our lives. If we are able to wake up today, it is by God's grace, and we must thank him for that. This is why he asks us to go and wash our eyes to see better his wonders in our lives. Let us live as children of the light. Take no part in the activities of darkness. They produce nothing good. Let us awaken, rise from the dead, and Christ will enlighten us. In God's love, let us confess our sin. He brings us the joy of a new life. Amen.